Okay, so now we're going to start on assignment number 6. You're going to be creating a self-intro slide. Let's look at the instructions. Attached is an example slide with the format that you are to create for this assignment. However, you will not be creating a newsletter as shown. Instead, you will create a slide that introduces you to others. Please be aware that we will be hanging these completed projects in the classroom. So anything that you turn in will be made available for others who are in our class or who visit our class to see. You will need to answer the questions below before you can complete the assignment. The answers to the questions will be used on the slide that you create. So what are the questions that you need to consider before starting this project? There's 4. The first one is, what are you best at doing? Some examples could be drawing, playing soccer, doing makeup. Question number 2, what's a real world problem that you wish you could solve? And just some examples are ocean pollution or hunger, but you definitely do not have to choose one of these. Think for yourself, what are some things that you see in society or in our world that kind of make you angry and you wish that you could do something about it or that someone else might? Question number 3 is, what is your dream job? So some examples of jobs might be a lawyer or a construction contractor, an actor, a doctor. There's so many things. So think about where or what you would like to do as a job when you become a grown person. And the last question to consider before getting started is, what is one famous quote that motivates you to do your best? And if you don't know a quote right away, you can always do a Google search for motivational quotes and find something that you like. So I'm simply showing you that there are so many different quotes that people might find motivation in. So don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. That's one example. Push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you is another example. Um, don't stop until you're proud. So there's lots of options for motivational quotes. Now, you're looking at my screen as a teacher. Your screen as a student will look a little bit different. In the upper right corner, there should be a slide presentation that you can go ahead and open up. But before you do so, I want you to take a look at my example. So my example slide is loading for us. And the first thing I want you to take notice is that my slide is going straight up and down instead of sideways. You are going to be requested to make your slide look like this. It looks actually like a sheet of a sheet of paper, um, standing the long way up. The other thing I want you to take notice of is there are 5 shapes here that have color. So this red one, this yellow shape, this black shape, this red shape, and down here, this black shape. So each of those have color. So you're going to be expected to have those 5 also with colors that are your favorite. I use red and yellow because they happen to be our school colors, but you're going to use colors that are appealing to you. And yours is not going to be a newsletter. Instead of saying newsletter, you can either say about me or my intro. So this is the format that we're going to be creating for the assignment. Now, how do we create it? Well, once you clicked an assignment 6, there should be a slide that has your first name. And once you open it, you'll see something very similar to this. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change the size of the slide. We're going to change the size of the slide. All right, so to change the size, you need to go to your upper left-hand corner, click File, go down to Page Setup. So I clicked File, went down to Page Setup, and then this box will pop up for you. Click the down arrow, and you're gonna go to Custom. Now we want the dimensions of a standard size of piece of paper in our country, and that's going to be 8.5 by 11. So I put 8.5, and then in this box 11, leave everything else the same and click apply. Right away you should see the size of your slide change. The next thing is where it says add title, type your name and hover over this box in the middle, click it, hold it, and drag it up a bit because we don't want the box too huge. You just want it the size of your name. And to move it, I would like to move it up a little bit more actually. To move it, do you see how if I kind of hover over the box on the edges, my cursor turns to a four-way arrow? That's what you need to do. So I'm clicking it and dragging it. All right. So the next thing that we need is a box that has our favorite color. So that is actually a shape. In our example, we had a red box, but red happens to not be my favorite color. So I'm going to use a different one. So in our menu area here, you're going to click the icon that shows a circle and a box behind it or a square behind it, and it says shape. So you click shape, go to the first shapes option, drag over and click rectangle. You know that you have successfully selected rectangle because your cursor turns to a plus sign. All right, so the plus sign is going to start in the upper left corner of wherever I put it. So I'm clicking, I'm holding, and I'm dragging all the way to the other end of the document. And now I'm going to let go. And there is my shape, my rectangle. Okay, so it's naturally a gray color. However, gray is not my favorite color. So I'm going to click on it, go up to the paint, click fill color, and I'm going to select one of my favorite colors, which is pink. I actually want to select another one of my favorite colors. I like this color a lot. All right. So the next thing is I need to add a subtitle, and I want to move it to be a little bit smaller, and I'm going to say all about me. And then I will slide it on top and it disappears. Why did it disappear? Well, it disappeared for a couple of reasons. One, it is behind this rectangle. The other one might be because the color sometimes does not pop based upon whatever we filled it. But I really think it's because it's behind this rectangle. So to try to fix that, I'm going to click on the rectangle. When these boxes pop up, it lets me know that my rectangle is selected. And then I'm going to right click. If you're on a Chromebook, you're going to click with two fingers to make the menu pop up. And you go down to order. And my rectangle right now is blocking my words. Instead, I want my rectangle to be behind my words. So I'm going to say order, send backward. And then my words pop back up. I also want to make this a little bit bigger, and then maybe I want a different color. Oh, I don't want to highlight it, but I want to select all of my letters and go here to change the text color. Change the text color to pink. For me, change it to whatever you like. Okay, so let's look at this. The only other thing that's missing at the top is I do need to put an image here, something that like represents me. And I was born in the spring, so I'm gonna put some spring flowers up there. But you need to put an image of something that you really feel like represents you. I'm gonna drag this over a little bit to try to make room for my image to go right there. And in order to add a picture or an image, you go back up to your menu section, and this little box that looks like it has the mountains is the one where you find images. So I'm going to click the down arrow, and I want to search the web. I'm going to find something from the web. In the spring, I love to see the flowers on the trees. So I think I'm going to choose this one. All right, so that's huge. Of course, you don't want something that large. I'm resizing it by clicking and dragging. I'm moving it by clicking and dragging to where I want. And I probably don't really love this picture, but this is just for the sake of showing you. The other thing that I'm noticing is this blue is very different from this blue. So I'm probably going to go and change that blue to see if I can find something a little closer to what the picture is showing. Okay, and you just have to kind of experiment with it to see what you really like. So now we need to add a couple more things to our presentation here. We have our title, we have our subtitle area, we have an image. So title, subtitle, image. You will need to go back and kind of experiment with the size of your title and subtitle, experiment with the placing of the words. But the features are all here. We'll just have to kind of spend some time to make sure that we really like how things are looking. So the next thing we want to do is add 1, 2, 3, 4 more shapes, 4 more rectangles. So we're going to repeat the process of going to our menu. And I want to point out, if your Google Slides looks like this and you don't have all of the menus, then you simply need to click the down arrow. So I'm going to click the down arrow to see some more options. And we need to add 1, 2, 3, 4 more rectangles. So I'm going to repeat by going up here to shape. It looks like a circle with the box. To shapes, I'm just hovering and sliding over to choose the rectangle. And I know that this one should be like a longer rectangle. I'm going to repeat that again. This one was like a short one. And then again, there's another short one. And then there is one that goes pretty much the width of the whole document. Okay. So that's our foundation. We have these 4 additional rectangles, but we need to make them look more symmetric with one another and to have more spread on the entire slide. So I'm going to just widen this one a little bit. I'm going to widen this one a little bit also. And then I'm going to slide to see, are they both the same width? Because I would like them to be the same width. And I'm clicking and holding to make sure that they're the same width. All right, this is the same width now. So now once I do that, I will make sure my other one is also the same width. Okay. So now one thing that can change is we need to change the length. And then make sure that it's good alignment. I'm going to pull this one up a little bit so it's not too far down at the bottom. Pull this picture down a little so it's not too far at the top. And I would like this box to be kind of in alignment with everything. So all you're watching me do is kind of click on the different boxes and check to make sure that there's symmetry. For example, these two boxes should be centered with one another. Then you want to make sure that there's alignment. You see that there's alignment, and this box is in the middle of the slide. Okay, so this looks pretty good to me. I have 4 areas where I can add some information. But these 4 areas are gray, and gray is not one of my favorite colors. I really love pink, and so I'm going to add some more pink, and I'm going to try to find a shade of pink that makes me happy. So how do I do that? I click on the image, I click on the shape that I want to change the color for. I know it's selected because there's a blue box around it now. I'm happy with where it is on the slide. I just want to change the color. So I go up here to where it looks like there's a paint can spilling over. I click that, and I need to kind of try to find a pink that I like. That's okay. It's okay. I don't love it, but it is okay. And I can try maybe seeing about making each one a different shade of pink, giving that a try first. And what I'm actually going to do, you see where it says custom color? You can put a hex color. So I'm going to, this is not necessary, but I'm going to say rose hex code. I like a shade of rose that I like. And look at this. Here's shades of pink. Will it tell me the hex code? Okay, so rose, I can barely see it, but rose is FC94AF. I'm sorry, FC94AF. So let me see if I remember that. So FC94AF. And look, there's rose. So that's another little neat trick, is that you can actually create the specific colors that you really want by finding their hex codes. So that was rose. I also really love hot pink, and that one is FF1694. So let me try this one, I think. It's FF1694. So FF1694 is the hex code for that one. And remember, doing these specific colors is not a requirement at all. This is just me showing you how you can specify the color that you actually really want. Okay, so let's see if we can find one more color. think maybe the salmon might be good right here. I like this one. Lemonade is good too. So which one do I want to choose? This Rogue, I like that one too. There's so many. Can you tell that I actually really, really love the color pink? Look at ballet slipper. All right, choose one. So I will choose, let me look at it again. I kind of like this color down here. What color is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna do that one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to make this one the softest pink. So what's my softest pink? Maybe grape or blush. Let's try flamingo. What does that say? FDA4BA. FDA4BA. Okay. And it's too close to this one for me. So I'm probably going to have to do even lighter. Let me try this one. F2B8C6. F2B what? B8C6. Okay, hopefully I like this. I don't know. It's not perfect, but I'll be happy with it for now. And then I'm going to change. Okay, so this is kind of a labor of opinion and what you really like. But you get the gist. So far we have our title, we have our subtitle area, we have an image, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 additional boxes. That's what we just created, the 4 different boxes, and they each have a color that represents something that is appealing to me, because this is a slide about me. All right. And so now we need to put some information on these different 4 boxes. And if we go back to our assignment, it tells us what we're going to put. But before we start typing, we need to notice that there are text boxes here and text boxes there. Text boxes here, text boxes there. So we need to set that up also. So I am going to go find a text box. That's the T. And put it in the upper corner. And I want to say, let me make this a little larger. Okay, so this title needs to just be as wide as the box. And for me, I have Comic 16. So we're going to change it to Comic Sans. We're going to change it to 16. You can type the number. It also should be bold, and it should be, so this is where you click for bold. It did not change to comics. Let me try it again. Comics. It should be 16. Bold. Center. So I go to alignment to center it. Okay, and I'm going to type a title there. But for now, I'm just going to click the placeholder that says title. And I want to repeat this 3 more times because I have 3 more text boxes. So I click on the text box, hit Control C, Control V, makes a copy. I slide that copy. to where it belongs. Hit Control V again to make another copy. You also can click it and drop down the menu to hit copy. And then drop down the menu to hit paste. And you're going to drag this one to the last. And the red line tells me that it is centered. Okay, so this is what we have so far. You have your slide that's in the shape of a document. You have your title, your subtitle, your image. The subtitle is sitting on top of a colored rectangle that represents one of your favorite colors. And then you have 4 additional rectangles that are all representative of colors that are really appeasing or that are your favorite. And then we have 4 text boxes here. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do more text boxes, but they're going to be white because they're going to be the ones that you put information on. So go back over here to T, click again. When your cursor turns to the plus sign, you know you've selected something that you can add to your document. I'm going to go not all the way to the top because I want it to be under my title. So I'm going to go kind of like 3/4 to the top. I'm clicking, I'm holding, and I'm not dragging it all the way over. Oh, I forgot. That's not what to do. Delete that. Actually, what I'm doing is adding another shape. That's what I'm supposed to do. Adding another shape, clicking and holding. And the shape is going to be changed to white or whatever color you like. Okay. Now, you notice that all of my boxes have a little line around them, and that line is not the exact color of the box. And so we do want to fix that. So if you notice, like if I click on this box, it will show me the border color, and the border color is actually gray, but the box is white. I want the border color to be the same exact color as the box. So I'm going to change that. Okay, so let's take a look. So my white rectangle that I just added now does not have a gray border. It has a white border. And you'll notice that this one, like all of the other things, have a gray border. So we do need to go back and fix that. We want the border colors to be the same as the boxes. So now I have to figure out what color was my box. So this one is this 4th pink. And so for my border, I need it to be the 4th pink. Okay. This one is the 1st pink. So for my border, I need it to be the 1st pink. Do you see that happening? Do you see the color changing? Now there's no gray line around there. And then this one is 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So for my border, I need it to be 1, 2, 3, 4 down. And this last one is the 2nd color. So for my border, I need to choose the 2nd color. Okay, let's check it out now. So now there's no longer any gray line around these boxes, just around this one. So I still have one more to fix. I'll click here. Now I'm clicking the text box. That's not going to help me. So you see I need to actually go behind it to click the rectangle. And the rectangle's color is 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So for my line, my border, I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 down and change it. All right. So now this gives me a more clean feel. I can't tell you that I love the colors, but that's fine. I look forward to seeing what you create. But it's giving me a more clean feel because now the border colors on each of the rectangles are the same exact color as the rectangle. So that's making me feel more balanced. One thing, or more harmonious, I guess, is what I really feel. One thing that I want us to take a look at is we need to add white boxes on top of all of these so that we can have somewhere to type. That's going to give us some contrast. I'm going to type in black, which is why I'm going to add the white to give it a nice crisp contrast. Okay. So actually, I'm just going to click this white box, hit Control C, Control V. I made a duplicate, and now I'm going to move it here. The red line tells me that it's center, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to hit Control V again. I made another one. Remember, this pink box and this pink box should be the same width. They're just not the same length. And so it is centered because there's a red line going down the middle of it. And all that I need to do is actually drag this box down a little bit. And do you see that red line? Now it's aligned with that one. So they're aligned at the top. And they're aligned at the bottom with one another. Okay. And we have one last box. I'm going to go here, shapes, rectangle. I'm going to click. I'm going to hold a little bit. I need to move it over just. See, it's aligned. So there. It shows it's aligned. And then over here, it shows it's aligned. And then we need to make it white. Let's check it out now. Okay, this is looking good. So we're going to have 4 areas where you're going to tell everyone about yourself. And there's those are going to be on the white boxes. Where it says title, we're going to give different categories. But so far, we're pretty much done with the formatting. I would say that I don't love the way this title and subtitle look, but we can definitely work on that later. Now we need to figure out what are the titles going to be. So I have to go back to the assignment for that. The first question says, what are you best at doing? So I'm going to call that like a hobby. So this first box, I'm going to call like a hobby. You can also say interest. And then the next question says, what is a real world problem that you wish you could solve? And I will put real world problem. And then the next one is, what is your dream job? So I'm going to put dream job. And the last one is, what is a famous quote that motivates you? And then I'm going to say motivational. I'm going to say quote that motivates me. Okay. So this is how it looks so far. I'm going to put my hobby or my interest here. I'm going to put a real world problem that I don't like here, my dream job here, and a quote that motivates me. And so at this point, you should already have these answers. And then you can just go ahead and you can type by double clicking on this box. But do you see my cursors here? To get my cursor at the top, I actually have to go to alignment. So it's right there and you align to the top. And then I'm going to skip down one. And a real world problem that bothers me is poverty. And then I'm going to explain it a little bit. I do not like the fact that some people are born into poverty and they are not taught ways to get more income for themselves when they become adults. I want students to be taught how to make more money and given the chance to build skills that can help them increase their future income. Okay? This is what you do for all four. You're going to type. Again, you click in the box. You have to change the alignment to the top, and you are able to, I'm clicking in the box, changing my alignment to the top, and you're able to put in here what your responses to the questions are. One thing that I want to point out is I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to change my alignment to justify just to make it look cleaner. Okay, so now you have to do that for all four of your boxes.